It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
Hello and welcome to the Goldfields. The shires of Dundas, Menzies, Leonora and Laverton are the subject of today's Our Town story. We've got a lot of case to cover, but I certainly don't mind because I love it out here. So buckle up, get ready to go on tour because we're going to take you to the best of the Goldfields. Wide open lands. Millions of hectares of natural ecosystems. The Shire of Dundas covers just over 93,000 square kilometres, stretching across to the WA South Australian border. The Shire's main hub, Norseman, came to life as a mining camp back in the late 1800s when gold was discovered nearby, and is a major stopover for visitors travelling to and from the eastern states. In 1894, Laurie Sinclair, one of the many prospectors who made their way through the area, decided to stop off and see his brother on his way through to Esperance. He tethered his horse, Hardy Norseman, overnight, but when he got up in the morning, he was absolutely gobsmacked to find that he'd poured up a gold nugget. So today, you'll find this fella right in the middle of town as a lasting tribute to Hardy Norseman. The Great Western Woodlands, running through the Dundas and nearby shires, are the heart of outback Western Australia and are the largest intact temperate woodland left on the planet. These woodlands consist of 16 million hectares of natural ecosystems. They extend north to Kalgoorlie's Mulga scrublands and east to the Nullarbor Plain. Much of the woodlands now are native title land, and it's the traditional local custodians whose land covers the Great Western Woodlands, who have one of the longest continuous connections to country of any culture on the planet. Les, I really find it absolutely amazing. These woodlands are over 300 million years old. How important are they to the region and its future, mate?
Oh, look, they're very important, especially for the reptile and the bird species, the animals. Ngudges have been managing this landscape for thousands of years, and we, basically want to keep it for the rest of the global community. This is very important for us.
Naju community rangers look after the lands in this region, working on country to protect the likes of flora and fauna, as well as controlling fire and feral animals in the Western Woodlands and the Nullarbor Plains.
So this is the quandong tree. It comes into full fruit in September.
Yep.
And it's our main source of vitamin C as we travelled across the landscape.
This great example of modern-day caring for country benefits the whole Dundas Shire, with the stories of Naju culture being embraced through dedicated language lessons at the local school. So Lynn, when did you first come out here?
Come to the Goldfields in the late 70s as a fitter underground, and come to Norseman in the late 80s, working underground still, and developed a passion for photography, and I just love the adventure around the bush here. No fences, you can go where you like, when you like, virtually. Always something new to find, even to this day, after 30 odd years, I'm still finding stuff. Never mind not being photographed before, probably never been seen by the white man before as well.
It's time to take a step back into the Shire's history with a visit to the Norseman Historical and Geological Museum, located in the School of Mines building. Managed and run by volunteers, the work that has been done to collect, restore and look after the history of the region is outstanding, with some memorabilia dating back to the late 1890s. So, John, how much work goes into taking care of the museum?
There's quite a bit, but we've got the volunteers that comes round, do the dusting. But the main thing, of course, to show the people around when they come to see us. We make it as interesting as we can for them. bring back the life of what Norseman used to be like and how hard it was too. And then, of course, hopefully they'll go and tell all their mates and they'll come and see us as well. I'm looking forward to seeing the next batch that comes in and show them around as well.
Nothing quite showcases the best a region has to offer than hearing it from the locals themselves, does it? Now, if you're going to or coming from the Nullarbor, Norseman, when it's on the way, you can't miss it. Duck into town and see what it has to offer. And not only town either, because the countryside and the Shire of Dundas is just magnificent. You certainly won't regret it. Thanks for being with us. After a short break, we'll be back and continue our feature on the WA Goldfields.
Hey, it's a beautiful day.
In the 1890s, Menzies was in the midst of a gold rush, a vibrant town that included 13 hotels, 3 banks, its own breweries and school for 200 pupils, and a post office with a staff of 25. This area was booming after being discovered by American adventurer Robert Menzies and his mates. We're 730 k's east of Perth, and yes, this place was absolutely bursting at the seams during the years of the gold rush. But due to a decline in gold reserves in the First World War, which just about cleaned this place out, by 1910, less than 1,000 residents remained. Menzies, though, is one of the few towns in the region that has survived those early times. Today, population around about 200. But wherever you look, there's a lasting memory of the area's rich history. As the gold rush came to an end, most of the town's grand old buildings were relocated over time. But as you make your way down Shenton Street, there are still some that remain. You can easily explore the town on foot with the local community's Our Place project, giving the town an opportunity to promote its strong heritage, building on the growing tourism activity in the northern goldfields. The historical sites give visitors a real feel for what the town was once like, with interpretive panels telling the stories of former residents. Nowadays, the mining, pastoral and tourism industries keep Menzies ticking over, and the town well and truly comes to life on the long weekend of June with the Psy Classic coming to town, making its way from Kalgoorlie Boulder to Menzies and then on to Leonora. October, and it's rodeo time, with people travelling from all over the goldfields and further afield for the annual Menzies Rodeo and Ute Muster. We're heading about 50 k's out of Menzies to Lake Ballard, which was in the wake of severe tropical cyclone Bobby back in 1995, dumping over 400 millimetres of rain into the interconnecting lake systems in the area in a very short period of time. Bobby's destruction was televised internationally. But today, Lake Ballard is on the map for another reason. This is Australia's largest outdoor art gallery, 51 sculptures created to represent the locals of Menzies. The exhibition, Inside Australia, was created by internationally renowned artist Anthony Gormley and was commissioned to mark the 50th anniversary celebrations of the Perth International Arts Festival in 2003. These sculptures were initially made from laser scans of the inhabitants of Menzies and are scattered right across 10 kilometres of Lake Ballard. This incredible display of culture was mapped via 500,000 digital coordinates to create a three-dimensional effect of the materials found in Archean rock throughout Western Australia. This place is just amazing. Gormley's vision reveals abstract shapes formed by the passage of a person's life, with the ongoing exhibition visited by thousands of people every year who travel from all over the world to experience one of the Outback's greatest cultural treasures. North of Menzies is the living ghost town of Kukaini. With only 20 locals nowadays, the town had 3,500 people living here in the early 1900s. As you walk through the old town site, you'll find remains of mining equipment and cars, with some of Kukaini's old public buildings still standing. Kukaini is believed to come from an Aboriginal word meaning waterhole or spring, and the nearby Niagara Dam gives some real meaning to that name. This outback oasis is now a popular spot for camping, walk trails and picnics, with a massive concrete wall built in 1897 to provide water to the town and for the steam engines working the line remaining intact today. Little now remains of Kukaini, but the Grand Hotel, built in 1902, is still trading well over a century later. Kevin and Margaret Pusey have been running one of Australia's most iconic outback pubs since 2000, and it's loved by visitors and locals alike. And one of those locals is one of the four-legged variety. Actually, a horse. There's 125,000 square kilometres that make up the Shire of Menzies. That's an awful lot of country. They have so many beautiful landscapes, some great characters, and there's so much history all over the place. Menzies and everywhere around here should be on your list if you're heading to WA's Goldfields.
It's a beautiful day.
Laverton. Why? Because it's different to anywhere else. That's the response you'll receive from a local if you ask them the question, so what's the attraction to this far northern Goldfields town? Built on an amazing community spirit, Laverton is a small town, but with many hidden surprises. It's also unique, and there's always something to discover. An area predominantly made up of desert and pastoral country, Laverton is a popular spot to visit and stay a while, with spinifex plains, mulga woodlands and unique granite outcrops forming an area that is rich in European and Aboriginal history and culture. There are numerous mine sites surrounding Laverton, predominantly a fly-in, fly-out workforce, and local mining companies offer the opportunity for employment of local residents, especially school leavers chasing training and apprenticeships. For the residents who do live in and around town, there's plenty to do with quality sporting facilities for the healthy-minded. And within half an hour's drive of town, north, south, east or west, there are never-ending opportunities to explore nature and the real outback. Laverton was named in 1900 after Dr. Charles Laver, a keen prospector who rode his bike from Coolgardie some 400 kilometres away back when Laverton was a booming gold town. It also had the reputation of being the wildest town in the West. Annual race days and festivals that celebrate Laverton's history and heritage bring people from all around the Goldfields, but it's the wide open country that attracts people from all over Australia and beyond. First port of call for everything Laverton is the Great Beyond Visitor Centre, home of the Explorers Hall of Fame. Utilising the latest technology, the centre complements the rich history of the Northern Goldfields, bringing to life the characters and stories of yesteryear.
So, my friends, we've all confronted the great beyond.
Explorers who led challenging expeditions through the area in the mid to late 19th century tell their own personal stories of hardship and bravery. And you can discover what it was really like for men and women living and working in the goldfields during the pioneering days. Just a short walk from the visitor centre is the Outback Gallery, showcasing the unique works of artists from Laverton and the Nundara lands. Sharing the Dreamtime stories of this beautiful country and celebrating the cultural heritage of the region, the gallery is housed in the heritage-listed Old Mine Manager's House, built in the early 1900s. The Laverton History Walk is a really cool way to check out the historical buildings in the town that have been preserved to tell the story of years gone by. Laverton has lost a little bit of its history over the years due to mining and building works, but as you wander the local streets these days, you get a really good feel for how Laverton has lived for well over a century. You can do the walk in a leisurely couple of hours, taking in the historical sites of old schools, hospitals and police station. Some originally relocated from nearby Mount Margaret. Being in the red heart of Western Australia, Laverton is well known as the gateway to a number of four-wheel driving adventure trails. Everywhere you look, there's a new track to a new adventure, a new amazing outback experience. In fact, there's so much space out here, you can literally drive for days on end. It's just amazing. Laverton is the start and finish of Australia's longest shortcut, the Outback Way. a 2,800 kilometre road trip either to or from Winton in Queensland via the NT's Red Centre. This great Australian road trip carves a well-worn track through the heart of Australia and is recognised as our own version of the USA's Route 66, taking in Indigenous culture and pioneering heritage with some awesome hospitality at every town you drop into. This country is also part of the Golden Quest Discovery Trail, a 1,000-kilometre self-drive journey through the Goldfields from Coolgardie to Laverton. In fact, you can experience 6 discovery trails from Laverton. If you enjoy getting off the beaten track and you have some time to explore the history of the Northern Goldfields, then Laverton certainly is a good base to get the best out of the region. This country is just magic, so make some plans to explore. There's plenty to see and do in and around town, with many hidden surprises.
It's a beautiful day.
We've covered our next location during previous series of Our Town, and the crew have been giving this area of the Northern Goldfields a big rap during our travels this week. This is Leonora, and if you love your history and you're right into a big outback drive, you need to be here. Discovered and named in 1869 by West Australian explorer John Forrest, Leonora is the largest commercial centre north of Kalgoorlie-Boulder. Around 1,500 people live in the town and the surrounding hinterland, and it's a region full of historic attractions, representing the 1890s when the discovery of gold brought thousands of people to the region. If you're hanging around for a few days and you just love to get out into the countryside, well, Leonora has some awesome drives that cover a couple of different themes. They say it's one of the best ways to experience all the old stories of Leonora. The Darlow Loop Trail stretches over 345 kilometres, with interpretive signage and iron figures showcasing individual stories of this remarkable region. And the Agnew Loop is just under 300 k's, and it's recommended you drive it in a clockwise direction, allowing a full day to take in the best of this historical part of the Goldfields. The colours out here in the Northern Goldfields are just superb, and these drive trails give you a great insight into Leonora's history, as well as showing off some absolutely stunning landscapes. The work the Shire of Leonora has done to preserve this region's strong and proud history is certainly there to see, not just on the loop trails, but in town and the nearby Gaulia settlement. The Shire have just invested $3 million into the upgrade of Gaulia, a 5-year project which has been their biggest heritage investment so far. Yes, it is about preserving the history of the region, but it's also about being able to show it off and what it was like to live out here in the late 1800s. Extensive conservation work was carried out on Gaulia's historical precinct, museum and Hoover House, as well as a total reconstruction of the historic timber head frame. The complete restoration of a 118-year-old mining head frame was one of the biggest challenges. However, this replica head frame is the only surviving large timber incline head frame in Australia, and one of the very few timber head frames from the 19th century. This 20-metre heritage-listed structure was designed by the 31st President of the United States, Herbert Hoover, back in the day when the former geologist and engineer was the mine manager. During restoration, over 1,000 photographs were taken during various stages of deconstruction to make sure that it could be perfectly rebuilt. The end result is just outstanding. Some comprehensive building work was also carried out at the nearby Old Mine Office, and the assay building has had some minor maintenance done. Hoover House, which sits on the edge of St Barbara's operating open-pit gold mine, has seen some extensive improvements as part of the heritage project. New roofing, the repair and replacement of the property's extensive timber elements, such as balustrades, picket fencing and steps, as well as masonry work, has well and truly enhanced this beautiful old building, which was originally built in 1898 by Herbert Hoover. Now a popular luxury bed and breakfast and function centre, Hoover House is a lasting memory of Leonora's gold mining years.
Mining has been a huge part of our history and we need to preserve it for the ongoing generations. We recently got an award from the WA Heritage Council for preservation work in Gawlia and the precinct. And anyone can come and have a look at it. It doesn't cost you anything and it's a living memory of our mining history.
Get on the road, people, and make your way through the Goldfields to Leonora. And there's plenty to see and do once you get here as well, so put away a few days and make sure you stay a while. The Shire have done a fantastic job profiling the town and the region's history. Look it up. You'll love it out here. Today's Goldfields episode, taking in the 4 shires of Dundas, Menzies, Laverton and Leonora. Combined make up 430,000 square kilometres of WA. That's a lot of country, and what country it is. We've only just scratched the surface too. There's a lot to put in the memory bank, so start making some plans and get yourself on the road. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, where we'll see you somewhere in WA.
It's a beautiful day.